President Volodymyr Zelensky has made an unannounced appearance in a port in the Odessa region ahead of the departure of the first ship loaded with grain since the war with Russia began 5 months ago. He told Western ambassadors that Ukraine was ready to export its grain. It was just waiting for the go-ahead from its partners. It's important for us, he added, to remain the guarantor of global food security. Meanwhile, Lloyd's of London has agreed to provide critical marine cargo and war insurance. Today's operation is a test to see if the recent deal struck in Istanbul works in practice, given that the coastal waters have been mined by Ukraine and blockaded by Russian warships. President Zelensky has been speaking a short time ago about the shipment.
This is the first vessel being loaded since the war began. It is a Turkish ship I stand before. This means port operations are underway. This is the most important thing. The port is functioning, people are working. Our side is fully prepared. We sent all the signals to our partners, the United Nations and Turkey, and our military will guarantee security. The Minister of Infrastructure is in direct contact with the Turkish side and the UN. We are waiting for a signal from them to embark.
Our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse is in the Odessa region. He explains the significance of what's happening.
Yeah, I think it's right to call it a test, but behind me is the Black Sea, inviting as it looks. No one is going in it because, as you've just said, it is swamped with mines effectively all along this coastline. There are signs warning people to stay back, and the military aren't letting us film it directly, but to your right is the port of Chornomorsk. It is one of the locations in this landmark grain deal where ships could well start leaving, unlocking the deadlock on grain exports and addressing the resulting global food crisis. Today, the President Volodymyr Zelensky made an unannounced visit to that port next to one of the ships that's being loaded, keen to get the message across that he's ready to go. But there are some practical realities here. I don't think we're going to see convoys of ships coming in and out if or when that first ship goes, because, you know, in the words of the United Nations, there are crucial questions which haven't been addressed. Global shipping insurers we've spoken to say there are still a number of details that need to be ironed out before it's even possible from an insurance perspective for such a large volume of cargo to head out through these mine-infested waters, heading into a Russian naval blockade, which for so long has dominated the sea here, before heading on to the countries that so desperately need its cargo. What we are seeing on the political front is significant, and when that ship leaves, it will also be important, but we are a long way off from this global food crisis being addressed.
So, James, President Zelensky showing up there, a sign of just how important this is. But as you've mentioned, there are fears that it might not be possible to pull it off. Just talk us through what people are worried on all sides might happen to stop these ships from leaving the ports.
There are real concerns. There absolutely are. We've spoken to crew members who have been effectively frozen in time since the 24th of February when the invasion started. They've been unable to work. They've either been stuck at home or on the ships that they work on, or even been forced to flee the country. Many, of course, have also been called up to fight. So they are keen to get back to work, even in the face of the very obvious dangers, because they're no stranger to it, they say. They deal with pirates in other scenarios in other parts of the world. So there is that willingness, I think there is fair to say, inside Ukraine. But I think more broadly, certainly from the West, there is a nervousness, because this landmark deal was signed last Friday. It was the first diplomatic breakthrough in this brutal conflict. A day later, Russia opened fire on one of the ports central to the agreement. So trust is low on all sides, and you know, the nervousness is not going away.